Ah, yes, Wales, the home of beautiful rolling hills, stunning coastal views, a strong national identity, and, of course, plenty of dark history. Let's talk about this one. It didn't appear on any map, and no one in the nearby village dared to speak of it after sunset. Built long before the Norman invasion, its true origins were lost to time. All that was known was that when it appeared on old maps, it was always marked with an ominous symbol, a skull and crossbones. Legends spoke of iron bars on the windows and a moat filled with the blood of enemies, but the journal mentioned none of that. Instead, it described a place of learning, of magic, even. As she touched the cold stone, the wind picked up, swirling fallen leaves around her feet. The sun dripped gold through the canopy, dappling the moss-covered stones. The whispers were fainter now, but she pressed on, driven by an insatiable curiosity. Voices now filled the chamber, surrounding her. From every crack and crevice, they hissed and spat, "Get out! You shouldn't be here!" In the tower, she found a locked door sealed with wax. With trembling hands, she broke the seal, entering a chamber unlike any she had seen before. Books lined the walls, their leather covers hanging in tattered strips. Strange symbols were scrawled across their pages, and some were bound in human skin. Shadows stretched and writhed like serpents at its touch. Within its crumbling embrace, the spirits prepared to claim their prize. The wind moaned through the skeletal trees, carrying the essence of their despair. The bell tolled once more, a mournful knell echoing through the desolate landscape. The spirits surged, their whispers reaching a fever pitch. As the night deepened, Eliza braced herself, knowing she was at the mercy of forces beyond her comprehension. The battle for her soul had begun, and the castle and its legion of whispers had claimed her as their own. A desk sat at the far end, cluttered with scrolls, vials filled with dried herbs, and a tarnished silver mirror. But it was the mirror that held the most chilling sight. Gazing back at her was not her own reflection, but that of Lord Cedric, his face pale and gaunt, his eyes wide with terror. He mouthed silently, "Don't trust the whispers," his voice a ghastly echo in the silent room. Then he vanished, leaving her alone in the suffocating darkness. Panic seized her, and she fled, racing back through the tunnels, back to the safety of the daylight world. You seek to trap us, mortal. You cannot hope to succeed where Cedric failed. Startled, Eliza whirled around, but saw nothing. She was never meant to find the castle. The spirits had not welcomed her, they had claimed her. The bell tolled in the distance, echoing across the barren landscape. The spirits stirred, sensing her presence. They surged through the castle, eager to feast on their newest captive. Their whispers turned to screams, their laughter to shrieks of delight. Eliza cried out, realizing the truth. The castle had chosen her. The voice continued, echoing around her. "He bound us to this place, hoping to control us. But we are the castle." She tried to flee, but where could she go? The spirits followed her everywhere, whispering threats, taunting her with visions of her own demise. Driven to the edge, she stumbled back to the castle, the only place she could withstand their chorus. But now it loomed before her, a sinister silhouette against the darkening sky, its twisted branches clawing at the heavens. Every whisper, every creak in the wood, every shadow, we are memories feeding on the living. Understanding dawned on her. These were the spirits of Erlenkeep, animated by the castle's magic and bound to its mortal coils. They had not been trapped. This was their home. Collapsing onto the overgrown grass, she pulled herself together, realizing she must stop this madness. She couldn't outrun the castle or its whispers forever. She would have to confront them, whatever the cost. The closer she got, the more distinct the voices became, weaving in and out of the trees, guiding, taunting her. Finally, the castle loomed before her once more, its bulk seeming to have grown in her absence. She stepped over the threshold, letting out a shaky breath. The interior was cloaked in darkness, the daylight struggling to penetrate the thick stone walls. Armed with her lantern, she began to explore, determined to unravel the mysteries hidden within. The trees in the distance seemed to bow, forming a gateway to the unknown. With a flickering lantern held high, she descended, each step taking her deeper into the earth. The tunnel opened into a cavern filled with rough-hewn tombs and crumbling skeletons. The air hung heavy with the scent of decay, and the silence was deafening. As she rounded a corner, she saw a faint glow ahead. Moving closer, she realized it was emanating from a single eye-shaped aperture cut into the far wall. Light spilled out, beckoning her forward. With bated breath, she stepped into the opening, finding herself in a small, exquisitely crafted chamber. At its center stood an ornately carved wooden box. As she approached, the lid creaked open, revealing rows upon rows of teeth, each one impossibly sharp. The air grew colder there, as if the wind itself held secrets just beyond her understanding. Taking a deep breath, she pushed open the creaking wooden door. Stepping inside, the sunlight faded to twilight. Ivy snaked through broken windowsills, casting dancing shadows on the floor. A hearth lay cold in the center of the great hall, its mantle adorned with faded tapestries depicting strange, otherworldly beasts. Cobwebs brushed against her face, disturbed by the intrusion, yet oddly alive. Travelers who passed by at their own peril, for legend claimed these lands were cursed, haunted by spirits older than time. They came from everywhere and nowhere, murmuring just beyond her hearing. Though she strained to understand their words, they were carried away on the breeze, leaving only fragments of phrases like, "Be where the deep water," or "The bell tolls thrice for thee." Sleep offered no respite as the voices grew louder. Now she heard footsteps echoing on the flagstone floors, the scrape of a chair, the murmur of conversation. Laughter rang out, cruel and mocking, as if reveling in her growing fear. Unable to endure another night in the crumbling keep, she fled, running blindly through the undergrowth until the castle was nothing but a fading silhouette against the dawn sky. Deep in the forgotten forests of northern Wales stood an ancient castle known only by a few as Erlen Keep. Yet something compelled her to return. Days turned into weeks, the memory of the voices haunting her waking moments. She couldn't shake the feeling that the castle was calling to her, demanding she uncover its secrets. Once again, she found herself drawn to the woods, the path to Erlen Keep. Its pages crackled as she opened it, revealing spidery handwriting and strange sketches. North Wales is actually very real, and there are plenty of castles scattered across the region, most of them dating back to medieval times. So when writing this story, I wanted to make sure that I honored the rich history of the area without straying too far from reality. That's why I took inspiration from the real-life Snowdonia National Park, which is famous for its stunning mountain ranges and deep valleys. It's also home to several mysterious ruins that have captured the imaginations of those who visit. One of the most famous is the crumbling fortress of Harlech, perched atop a wind-swept headland overlooking the sea. Its battlements have witnessed centuries come and go, leaving echoes of medieval life in its wake. Another is the mystical castle Wybeer, a hilltop citadel shrouded in folklore and legend. Its imposing silhouette stands as a testament to a turbulent past, whispering tales of valor and sacrifice. These places and many others like them served as the backdrop for the fictional Erlen Keep, allowing us to stay grounded in reality while crafting an eerie and suspenseful tale. It belonged to Lord Cedric Erlen, the last known inhabitant of Erlen Keep. The final entry read, "The whispers grow louder. They speak in voices I once knew. I fear they are not memories, but the dead." Intrigued and skeptical, Eliza set out to find the castle. In the fall of 1923, a young historian named Eliza Moore stumbled upon a faded journal in the archives of the London Library. Now, here's a little fun fact for you. After days of trekking through fog-covered woods, she found it hidden beneath thick vines and crumbling stone. As evening fell, the whispers started. At first, it was just the wind sighing through the gaps in the stonework, but then the voices began. Back in civilization, she tried to dismiss it all as tricks of the mind and ears, perhaps the ramblings of a tired imagination. This time, armed with a lantern and steel-tipped walking stick, she ventured deeper into the forest. She discovered a series of tunnels leading beneath the castle and into the hillside. But before she could fully comprehend what she was seeing, the whispers reached a crescendo. Returning once more to Keep, she searched for answers in its dusty chambers. Suddenly, the whispers coalesced into a single, chilling voice. And in the deepest recesses of her mind, she felt a terrifying realization bloom. She ran, desperately seeking an escape, but the voices pursued her, seeping into her dreams, tainting her waking hours. As the last rays of sunlight faded, the castle stirred. Eliza was never seen again, but if you walk too deep into the northern forests and the wind begins to whisper your name, run. Keep has found you.